Uh, so I like a nice balance of both. Too much of one or the other, and I don't enjoy it. Too much linearity is not interesting for me. Likewise, too much sandboxing is not interesting to me. That's why I don't like stuff like um, Minecraft, sandbox games. I need direction. I need some kind of direction. It's why I like Dragon Quest Builders. I like Dragon Quest Builders was fantastic because I got to do all of the building and creating and crafting and all of that stuff. But there was a point to it. There was a storyline that I was trying to get through. There were characters to meet. There were reasons I was doing things. Animal Crossing is the closest I get to a long-term sandbox game, and honestly, Shadow, it's not. Um, Animal Crossing is not a sandbox game completely because Animal Crossing gives you a few very clear things to do. One of the first things that you want to do in Animal Crossing is pay off your house. And everything you do aims towards that. You start to learn how to make money. You start to get fossils. People like to complete the fossils because then they can sell the fossils every day and get money. There are clear obstacles for you to perform. There's paying off your house. If you're like me, I like to get my house up to the point where I get like the highest ranking for like the points in the house. I like to get my town to perfect, to where the people absolutely love it, and then it's always like a gold axe or something like that you get for doing that. I like striving for those achievements. I like trying to get more money. I like trying to complete furniture sets. Animal Crossing is a sandbox game in the sense that there's no real storyline, but there are very clear goals for you to want to achieve in Animal Crossing. One of the first things you want is to pay off your house. Yeah, all the time. My biggest goal in Animal Crossing, I always figure out the fastest way to make money because the goal is to pay off the house so that I can have the house as big as it can possibly be, and then I can start decorating it. Animal Crossing is just a true dream of modern adults. The ability to pay off all your debts without interest. Without interest. The ability to be a homeowner, have power over your community, and make friends. Your goal is to develop your village in your ideal image. Same with Minecraft. My problem for me is Minecraft has no charm. Now I see Mayor Greg flexing on the poor village. I like getting more money. Yeah. I mean, I'm not wrong. Those goals keep you invested in the game. Shadow, you say like Stardew Valley. I played Stardew Valley up until I had a system in Stardew Valley for my whole farm. I never showed off my complete farm in Stardew Valley. My farm in Stardew Valley was making so much money. I had gotten married. I think I had like 2 or 3 kids. Like I did all of that stuff. Once I did all of it, the only thing left for me to get, I think, was the gold clock. Once I did all of it, I kind of stopped caring. I almost immediately dropped off of Stardew because I stopped caring, because I made it through. I did all of the things that there was to do. The only thing would be the only thing left for me to do in that game would have been to just keep doing exactly what I was doing until I got enough money to buy the gold clock, or remove my children, remove my spouse, and then went and found somebody else to marry, which is just like tedium. Yeah, I felt like Stardew didn't have enough in the long term. There's not a lot going on post second year. A few new late game things have been added. Yeah, and there wasn't a lot of added content like regular. New Leaf was. I think New Leaf, Animal Crossing New Leaf, I think is still adding content. There were not regular content upgrades. It was very, very tame. Like I got all of the stuff that you could get from all of the holidays in the first couple of years. My farm was gigantic. It's wild because I look at other people play the game and they've got these like nice little cute farms and everything, and then mine is all grid like with I've got as many possible growth points in the range of scarecrows and sprinklers as possible with paths going through them. Like, it's crazy. I was making so much money. Greg is a farm capitalist confirmed. The major thing was the multiplayer new event. Yeah, people were saying that multiplayer is something that I should have done for Community Day. Bring everybody over. I just never did it. Yeah, Lilac, that was it. My farm was very efficient, and that was sort of my dream. Like, that's what I always do. I always try and figure out the most efficient way to do it. You know, when it came to Animal Crossing, it's just so weird that we're splintering off to this topic. When it came to Animal Crossing, it was always, okay, make sure all the trees are set up a certain way so that I don't overdo the trees in the area, because that's bad for your town rating. You know, make sure I do this. I want to put all of the apple trees here, and I want to put all of the orange trees here, and I want to, you know what I mean? Like, it was always very, very organized for me. Not necessarily in the sense that the trees are all in straight lines or anything, but just that everything was always very organized so that I knew where, you know, I learned where every rock was. I would plant bushes in certain ways so that it was easier for me to hit the rocks in Animal Crossing. Which, if you're not an Animal Crossing person, that entire line of thought was very boring and confusing. Spoken like a true American there, Greg. Yeah, you better believe it. Lilac, efficient enough for me to make as much money as possible. Overweight. All I need is a gun, and I will probably be the most American person you've ever seen. The main issue with multiplayer for Community Day is that you need save editing to have more than 4 players at once. The game works perfectly fine for more than 4, but you need to do some setup first. I would probably just do 4 at once, 3 or 4 at once. Your Stardew Valley, you should have a Stardew Valley tech. Well, and that's the thing. Later, Unqualified Gamer, have a good one. And that's the thing with Stardew. Stardew, there's a lot more content because apparently you can start a farm, but on an island or a desert area where it makes it more challenging for you to get everything going. But I didn't care. Like, there was no benefit to me doing any of that because it was restarting the whole game. Like, I had to start the story all over again in order to just happen to be in a different place. I think I would have been more interested if I could have automated my farm and then said, oh, I can also start a farm on this island over here, and then go to the island and then build that farm up. I think that would have been more interesting for me. Greg flexing. Yeah, Greg's flexing his Stardew Valley. Wow, there's gotta be there's gotta be a better flex out there for me, Shadow. So you want it to be the next JoJo more? Yeah, I think that would be kind of cool. Like, I don't know, it felt like there would have been more to it for me if I was able to do that. This is I'm gonna take off the topic because we're not talking about Final Fantasy anymore. I made this entire farm into an infinite money factory, and now I'm gonna go to an island and do it. Prismatic, yes, exactly, yes. I want to be able to pay my villagers, my townspeople, I should say, to harvest the farm that I have created while I'm away, and then while they do that, I go to another place and I build another farm. Since we're going into viewer topics, yeah, I guess we might as well go into viewer topics. We were just sort of rambling about here, hold on. Oh god, I didn't realize my speakers were still on. Yeah, so why don't we just go into viewer topics here, and we'll talk what people want to talk about. But yeah, I just just Stardew Valley. By the way, one of the most recent tweets from the Animal Crossing Twitter confirms that the shopping catalog is back. Thank you for the shopping catalog. What I would like to find out is whether or not I can craft half of that stuff. Oh my god. Jojo Mart is Shinra. Also, I'm sorry, but since we've been going into the viewer, the Monster Hunter movie is going to suck like hell. I haven't really seen anything about it other than a couple of pictures, so I don't know if it's going to suck. Oh, wait, hold on. I have a topic that I would like to bring up. Not a very long one, but I watched that Dragon Quest movie on Netflix. I'm not gonna spoil it for anybody. Wow, what a good movie that was annihilated in the last 10 minutes. Holy smokes. The good, the bad, and the ugly. I'll tell you what, with Hero Hyrule, the good, I like the voice acting, I like the storyline, I like the characters. I thought everything was very interesting. The bad, not much. There was not a lot of the pacing. The pacing I thought was really bad. It was coming at you a mile a minute, and there was a reason for that, which you don't realize until you get to the ugly, which is the last 10 minutes of the movie. There's a reason that the movie, AGM, the movie was all over the place. There's a reason it's all over the place. There's a reason it moves at a blistering pace that is hard to keep up with. And when you get to the ending and you find out why that reason is, it is terrible. It is not a good ending to a movie. I like the Dragon Quest ending. It is the epitome of a video game movie. Anybody who has seen the movie knows that is exactly correct. It is the epitome of a video game movie. It was great, and I didn't understand what everybody was complaining about other than the pacing issues. And then the thing happened, and it was a disaster. It ruined the whole movie. There's nothing sadder than a movie that's really good up until the last 10 minutes. The ending is the most important part when it comes to leaving someone with a good impression. Yeah, the last time I remember a movie being that bad was... There was a movie called Mystic River. I'm sure I've talked about this before. There was a movie called Mystic River, and in the movie, Sean Penn is like... It's him and it's a couple of friends, and then there's like an FBI agent who used to be a friend. He used to live in their neighborhood, and Sean Penn's daughter gets murdered, and they're trying to figure out who murdered her. They're trying to figure out what happened. They suspect that it's this guy who is Tim Robbins. He used to be a friend of theirs. They kind of suspected it's him, and so you go through the movie, and there's a bunch of different things that happen, and when you get I almost don't want to say it, but they suspect that it's Tim Robbins' character that did it, to the point where in the end they finally realize that they truly believe that it's him, and they murder him. They kill him. They kill Tim Robbins' character because they think that he did it. Then you come to find out that it wasn't him. It was these other guys that committed the murder. And then the movie ends, and one of the final scenes is like Tim Robbins' wife. She's looking for him. She doesn't know where he went, but he's dead. And it's like, wow, you just sucked all the interest out of the movie for me, because I was caring about these characters right up until the point that they murdered this character, but then now I'm not supposed to care that they murdered the innocent character. Like, you watch the movie because it's like, oh my god, they murdered his daughter. She didn't deserve to die. Who did it? Now you have this other character who got murdered for no reason, And then the movie ends, and I'm not supposed to care. I'm not supposed to care that the character that you've been rooting for the entire time turned out to be a murderer, and they never resolve it because he doesn't get arrested. That's the thing. Sean Penn's character, he doesn't get arrested for murdering Tim Robbins' character. So I watch it, and I'm like, I was enjoying the movie up until now, and now I hate the whole movie. Like, the ending was so bad, I hated the whole movie. That's kind of what this was like. The Dragon Quest movie was like, wow, the ending was actually bad to the point where I don't know that I could go back and watch the movie because the whole movie now is tainted with the ending. Oh, what movie are you talking about? The movie I was talking about with Sean Penn was called Mystic River. It was a fine movie up until the end when all of a sudden I'm just suddenly supposed to not care about certain it's kind of weird. And the movie was critically acclaimed. Like, people really liked the movie, and I thought that the movie was great right up until the ending. And then when the ending happened, I hated the rest of the movie. In this world where everyone loves their twist, I don't see why everyone hates the ending that much. Hawk, I would say it because it's the wrong kind of twist. It's definitely the wrong kind of twist. Oh, random question. Where'd you get the little bomb on your mic? This is from those World of Nintendo figures. The little World of Nintendo figurines that came out before Amiibos. That's all it is. Everyone hates the ending that much. Hawk, let's see here. Pick a movie that you like. Give me a movie that you like. Hawk Goggles. Give me a movie that you like. Hopefully, I've seen it. Give me a semi-popular movie that you like. Random question. Oh, random. The ending is a bad version of the ending from Shawshank Redemption, which I never saw. I never saw Shawshank Redemption. It's a very forced twist. I just the Lego Movie. It's not the Back to the Future. Back to the Future. Okay, so let's go with Back to the Future. You're watching Back to the Future, and you get through the movie, and we're talking Back to the Future 1. You get to the movie. He blasts down the road at 88 miles an hour. Lightning hits the clock tower, charges the flux capacitor. He blasts back into the future. He gets home. He wakes up in his bed, and nothing has changed. His dad is still a nerd. His uncle's still in prison. His mom is still the way she was. Biff is still a jerk. Doc is dead because he was shot by terrorists the night before. At what is still the Twin Pines Mall. Nothing significant changes. Do you see how if you were to go back and watch the movie, the whole movie would feel pointless? It would feel frustrating because none of it matters. It's all irrelevant. That's what happens when you throw a twist at the end, and it's the wrong kind of twist. The Back to the Future one had the right kind of twist, where he makes it back to the future, and it turns out that his actions had positive repercussions on everything. And a lot of different things happened that changed that worked out for the better. That's a good way to do a twist. A bad way to do a twist would be to start the 6th Terminator movie and you gun down young John Connor at the very beginning of the movie. That's a bad way to do a twist. By the way, if you haven't seen Dark Fate, I haven't seen it, but yeah. Now I would like to give the DQ movie a try just to see how bad it is. It might make for a potential worst anime. No, and Aqua, and that's the thing. It's not a bad movie, but the ending makes it bad. Like if you stop it right before the crap happens, it's great. See, Greg, I get that, but it's a video game movie that is based on an existing property, and I think the twist is helped by that. I know the feeling you're talking about in the DQ didn't make me feel that way. Yeah, and that's fine, Hawk, and that's fine. I understand that. I think it's just that's my problem, and Hawk. It's kind of like difficult to talk about without spoiling it, because if I were able to spoil it, I would be able to talk about it a little bit more in depth as to why I have a problem with it. Because all I can say right now is that I had a big problem with the ending, but I can't talk about it specifically. That was so stupid. You spent the entire franchise establishing the importance of a character. If you stop right before the crap happens, get back up and your stomach will cramp up. Yeah, Lilac, it doesn't work. You can't do it. You can't do it. It hurts. It hurts. Like it burns. It burns when you stop peeing. That's the thing. Even Adventures of Fly wouldn't do that kind of ending. And this DQ movie is based off of DQ5, which, from what I've been told, is one of the most narratively driven stories in the series. So imagine a good story told to you. Yeah. Yeah. It's difficult to talk about without talking about specifics, but it was a frustrating ending because it was the wrong kind of twist. And that might be a cool topic. That might actually be a cool topic. Hold on, DB. People often say that. Hold on, this is something here. Don't remember what game it was. This is DB Stewart's comment. They're like, you can't just play it again to that point. And I was like, that's like going out for dinner, having a good appetizer and entree, and then the dessert completely sucks, and now you know it affects the whole meal. Yeah, and DB, you would probably question whether or not you would even go back to the restaurant. Like, you would say, like, oh yeah, I can go back to the restaurant, but I can't really get dessert. Or even like apps and the meal. Like, if the apps are good and the meal sucks. Like, you wouldn't go back to the restaurant just because the appetizers were good. Oh, excuse. Oh, excuse me. I'm sorry. I didn't think that was going to be loud. It might still make for my least favorite film in the sense if the story falls apart in a way like you said. Not a bad film in and of itself, but does not surpass the other anime films I've seen. Okay, yeah. It's supposed to be based off of 5. Hope you're doing better, and hey, you have nice hair. Yeah, thank you. So if you have Dragon Quest 11 post game, I haven't played through Dragon Quest. I really gotta get that game. Here's the topic. What's your take on this lack of direct drought? What is my take on the lack of direct? Just the ending for the Dragon Quest. Oh, you just watched the ending for the Dragon Quest movie, and holy crap. Yeah, right. What is my take on this direct drought? We had a direct. Well, we had an Animal Crossing direct. I said a few weeks ago what I thought was going to happen, and so far it's what's happened. I said that we were going to get that if we got a direct before Animal Crossing came out, that it was going to be an Animal Crossing direct. I said that 2 weeks before that direct actually dropped. It was going to be an Animal Crossing direct. They were going to talk about Animal Crossing, and that was it. We are not going to see a standard direct until after Animal Crossing releases. I really don't believe so. I honestly think very end of March, beginning of April, we're going to see a direct for everything else. Because at this point, we don't know what pretty much the rest of the year is going to be. People who buy Animal Crossing are going to buy Animal Crossing no matter what. But Nintendo is not going to take the chance of showing people a bunch of stuff that's coming out and have them say, oh, I was going to get Animal Crossing, but now I'm going to wait for this instead. They're not going to run the risk of doing that. So they're not going to release a direct with a whole bunch of information before Animal Crossing comes out. That is just what I believe. I'm not saying that that's actually what's going to happen, but that is my thinking. That being said, the fact that we don't have a direct doesn't bother me too much, because it's not like I think they don't have anything on the horizon. Hey, Horizon. I don't believe that they don't know what's coming out for the rest. I don't believe that there's nothing coming out for the rest of the year. Like that seems to be how people are acting. People are acting like there hasn't been a direct. We don't know what's happening for the rest of the year for Nintendo, which means nothing's going to happen. That's absolutely not going to happen. At this point, I'm content to just see what they do. I got Animal Crossing coming. I'm going to be able to play Animal Crossing. That's a fact. We've got time. We've got time to see what the rest of the year holds. There's plenty of stuff to play. We've been complaining for a while that our backlogs are all gigantic because there's so much stuff to play and there's so long of games. You know, there's indie stuff all over the place. Hey, Lord Mjolnir, this is your chance. Yeah, exactly, Pickety. This is your chance to catch up on your backlog. So I don't have a problem with it. We already have. If they stopped tomorrow, if Nintendo and Sony and Microsoft tomorrow said we are never going to make video games ever again, I feel like there are more video games than we would be able to play in our lifetimes. Me anyway, since I'm the old man here. So we're gonna be fine. There's no reason to panic. Don't everybody. It's not time to jump ship. Nintendo's going under because they have not released any mention for games. We'll be fine. They updated their playlist, and Amazon has new blank Switch listings. It'll be soon. I think it'll be after Animal Crossing. I honestly think it'll be after Animal Crossing. Have you decided on your Animal Crossing pre-order bundle? Okay, Prismatic, I was looking, and I don't know if some of them are available. What I was seeing is that the Walmart pre-order bundle with the tote bag is sold out. I think some of the Best Buy ones are sold out, too. Honestly, Prismatic, I'm having a harder time figuring out what the hell I'm going to call my town. Not to mention indie game. Yeah, indie games. Well, you know what, AGM? We don't even need indie games because apparently they're making new Tiger handheld electronic games. And, I mean, that's the height of gaming right there. And in my case, you rush through a bunch of your backlog in time for Animal Crossing. If I leave a game midway through the story when AC comes out, I'll have to restart the other game. Yeah. Yeah, Sage was down here. I got at least 10 years on my need to play backlog. It's like people just want something new constantly. Yeah, Aqua, they just want to know that new things are coming out. And new things are coming out. There's plenty on the horizon. Just chill. Just play some of the stuff that you got now. Play some, you've got Animal Crossing and Doom coming out the same day. Play those two games. You'll be fine. Call it the Silver Burrow. I only get 10 letters. They said I think they said it's only 10 characters. It's gonna end up being Silveria. So people, has there been any updates on that Breath of the Wild anime waifu game on PS4? Oh yeah, I don't even remember that. Did you hear the Platinum confirmed Bayo 3 is still coming along? Yeah, I did see something about that. People were worried that it had rough straits since it hasn't been mentioned. Yeah, I think it's fine. I think Bayo 3. I would like to hear a progress update. I don't need to see anything from Bayo 3. I'm kind of that way with Metroid also. I don't need to see anything. I just need to hear them say that everything is fine. As long as I get that every once in a while, I'm usually pretty happy. Call it Gonzalesu. Last is Shin Megami Tensei 5. Or I hope that's what SMTV is. I won't be getting AC physical. It was the biggest mistake I did with New Leaf. Once I take the cartridge out, I tend to get distracted. Then I get scared of Isabel's wrath. Yeah, I'm not. I have to get physical. I just have to get physical. It's just who I am. And you know who else I am? I am friends with Gonzalez. Because I already got it. Yeah, I gotta get it physical. I have to get. Let's get it physical. Whoa! Had to remind me of the Megami Tensei series. Um, I think I mentioned this before. There was a game that I played that was kind of like Shin Megami Tensei, and I wasn't sure what it was. I think we talked about it before. Devil Summoner. There was Devil Summoner something in the Shin Megami Tensei. I remember the combat system being similar. Physical, gotta get 'em all. Do you think Square will ever remaster Chrono Trigger? I don't think Square will ever remaster Chrono Trigger. At this point, I just want them to re-release Chrono Trigger. But yeah, Shin Megami Tensei 5 was announced when the damn... Oh, that's right. It was announced when the Switch was announced. Heard absolutely nothing for years. The Devil Summoner is a Shin Megami Tensei game. Okay. As for me, I have to get AC Digital. Otherwise, I'll drop the game faster due to sheer laziness of switching cartridges. Hey, I get it. I definitely get it. Have you watched Mewtwo Strikes Back 3D? I did not. Is it like a shot-for-shot remake of the original movie, or is it very different? It's funny, when I watched the Dragon Quest movie, I was actually going to choose between that and the Pokemon movie. Yeah, just a Switch port of the Chrono games. I don't need to see full-blown remasters or remakes or anything. I wouldn't mind seeing a remaster of Chrono Cross, just so that everything's cleaned up. But Chrono Cross was fantastic on its own. Have you heard of a fan project to translate Animal Forest? No. That's pretty interesting. Ooh, I'd be interested to see something like that. What if Chrono Trigger remake looks like the Dragon Quest movie? I'd be fine with it. I thought the Dragon Quest movie looked great, as long as the ending doesn't do what the ending did. Yeah, and that, like I said, Dragon Quest movie was terrific. Visually, I thought it was very nice. The action sequences were very nice. All the lighting and stuff. The voice work was great. Everything was fine. It's watchable, but yeah, it's a movie that was made on 2D for a reason. I mean, it was made on 2D for a reason. The reason being that 3D movies back then were more expensive to make. Mutant Strikes Back Evolution was pretty good. It's just the one-to-one. It's just a one-to-one remake of the cartoon with a few tweaks. The scientists are just out and out evil. They make it seem like they did it out of curiosity. Also, Pokemon should fight morale, was changed too. Okay. Also, I really want Trials of Mana remake. That's this month or next month, right? The Trials of Mana remake. It's coming along nicely. One of the cool things about E Plus is that you can create custom villagers via e-cards, which would be super cool if it gets fully translated. Ooh, very nice. Can I use my e-reader cards from before? A re-release of Chrono Cross that us in Europe can actually buy. Absolutely. I mean, Mr. L, you could buy it if you go and get a US PlayStation and a US copy of Chrono Cross. I should stockpile copies of Chrono Cross just to sell to people in the UK. Like, I make a whole business out of just that. I could see a Chrono Trigger remake in the same vein as Link's Awakening. I don't know if I'd want to see that. I don't know if I'd want to see it in the Link's Awakening style. I think the Link's Awakening graphic style worked because of what was happening in Link's Awakening, which I won't spoil for anybody, even though, I mean, it's a decades old game. But it worked for that. If you're going to do a Chrono Trigger graphic remake, it should be something, I hate to say it because it is the best example of it, but Octopath Traveler, something a bit more impressive, but still with the pixel sort of, a nice pixel scaling. I think pixel scaling would work very well for Chrono Trigger. That's what we call what? Arbit rage? I keep almost saying arbitrage. Why do I picture you like a shady dealer whispering to you? You want to buy some Chrono Cross? Hey, I got something for you. But I'm dressed like the vendor from Resident Evil 4. So detailed pixel art with scaling. One of my favorite things to do in pixel art is pixel scaling. When they're pixelated characters, but they move to the background and foreground. That to me is such a cool thing to do. I liked it in Fatal Fury, where you move to the foreground and background. I like it in Octopath Traveler, where they did that. Safe rooms aren't safe anymore. I saw that. Just got back into Tetris 99. They actually added a mode to play with friends, maybe for Community Day. Prismatic, I tried that for Community Day one time, and we were in matches with 3 people. Like, nobody, it was not something that a lot of people were wanting to play. So I didn't do it anymore. That's a finance concept. Basically, you buy something in one place and you sell it in another. Well, yeah, I mean, D.B. Stewart, that's what it's all about. I mean, realistically, if I were to ever go to Japan for long term, one of my business practices would be to buy rare import games and try and form a market over here for them. You know, Saturn games that people have never seen before. Super Famicom games that are they're very expensive, but the cheaper versions are over there. PC Engine PC Engine Duo R's, which are hundreds and hundreds of dollars over here, and maybe $150 over there. Oh, they're safe. It was a misunderstanding. Capcom confirmed they are safe. Okay. All right, that's good then, because that would suck if those rooms were not safe. I wouldn't mind it being in full 3D as long as it was impressive and fully voice acted. Yeah, it doesn't need Final Fantasy VII budget. Not everything does. The Unreal Engine 4 is a fantastic system that is not super taxing. Sad news for the TurboGrafx PC Engine Mini. They have postponed the release of the system because of the beer flu. Apparently, if you say it, it's bad for your video, which we don't get a ton of views, but we like to keep monetized when we can. The beer flu. What did I call it? What did I call it on Twitter? Pabst Flu Ribbon. or Sickalobe. We'll call it Sickalobe Ultra. I personally would like the budget for the Final Fantasy VII remake. I honestly would like an option to make it not safe. Oh my god, yeah, like hardcore mode, like always in danger mode, where nowhere. Oh, call it nowhere is safe, and he can come at if Nemesis can come at you wherever. Unreal Engine 4 is good, but easy to make it look bad if you're lazy. Which I don't think, if Square Enix used the Unreal Engine 4 for a Chrono Cross game, I don't think they're going to be lazy. Are you going to look into the Sakura Wars video game? I wouldn't mind looking into it. I'm not familiar with the series, but I was familiar with its existence in the olden days, back when it was on the Japanese Saturn. Another game that I would like to finally pick up and play is the Langrisser series. I know Langrisser 1 and 2 are coming out. Langrisser, I played the first game. I didn't play it all the way through. Langrisser came out in the US as a strategy game for the Genesis called Warsong. And I very much liked Warsong. That was a very cool game for what little I was able to play of it. I've wanted to buy a copy of that game, and that game has gone up in value. But the Langrisser series, I think, went up to like 4 of them. But they never came out over here, except for the first one. So I wouldn't mind giving them a shot. Yeah, it's Genesis Fire Emblem. Like Greg's Saturn memory. R.I.P. F for my Saturn memory. Not the things I remember about the Saturn. I mean the memory inside my Sega Saturn. To be fair, if nothing else has always pushed how their games look. Admittedly, one of my issues with Final Fantasy XIV 1.0 had. That's a name I did it here. Game? Name or game? The Osaka Wars, a tactical RPG dating sims. The new ones seem action based. The only thing that would hilariously suck about that is if character positions were saved and you made a save literally as an. Oh my god, yeah, that would be a problem. Are we gonna do Symphony of the Weekend? Most likely, Latimer. That's. I'm still trying to make sure that my schedule is gonna be clear enough to do that. Yeah, for anybody that was not here yesterday, we played. No problem, Aqua. We played Symphony of the Night on the Sega Saturn here yesterday, and my system memory does not save anymore. So more than likely tomorrow, I don't exactly know what time, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to play through the whole game. I'm going to play from start to finish. I will probably try and clear up enough of the map to get the better ending. So tomorrow we're going to do a long stream of Symphony of the Night on the Saturn, which I actually still have right here. Yay. Which I do not have a spine card for this game. So if anybody has the spine card, hit me up. I want to buy your spine card for this and Radiant Silvergun. You know, assuming you charge like $5. Alien Isolation allowed the Xenomorph to kill players trying to save. The game was pre-programmed to prevent saving by making it longer. Alien with now wasn't that a Lilac? Was Alien Isolation the game where there was like a glitch? There was like one line of code that was written wrong, and because of it, the difficulty was way too high. Wasn't that Alien Isolation that was like that? Saturn Day. It's Saturn Day. Oh, that was Colonial Marines. Okay, so that was Colonial Marines. Do you think it's a good idea to get Japanese copies of games you have multiple copies of on different systems? Well, do I think it's a good idea to get Japanese copies of games that you have on multiple copies of systems? I mean, I was going to grab it, but it's all the way up there. I have Japanese Chrono Trigger, and I think I have Chrono Trigger on everything that came out. I have Japanese Final Fantasy X. I have Japanese Final Fantasy IX. I have Japanese Final Fantasy VII. It's not necessary, but when you love a game, you just kind of do it. It's just sort of something that happens. Obviously, don't ever break the bank to buy something that you like, but you just kind of end up doing it. I actually don't have a Japanese copy of Final Fantasy Tactics, which blows my mind. Yeah, for collection's sake, you just sort of end up doing it. I also, Latimer, I'm also notorious for doing that if the Japanese versions of games or overseas versions of games have different things in them. The Japanese PlayStation Castlevania Symphony of the Night has things that are not in the American PlayStation version. The Saturn version, the Japanese version, has a bunch of different stuff. So I have different copies of the game, but each of them has different features to it. If the game is 100% exactly the same, I would say don't worry about it. But unless you really love the game. But for me personally, if I love a game, I try and get as many versions of it as I can, just because. Because I'm insane that way. You should try a Symphony of the Night race sometime. I've never raced it. I don't know any speedrun information for that game. I've watched speedruns, but I've never run a speedrun of that game, which I'm always worried about doing a speedrun of Symphony of the Night because I don't want to get to a point where I can't play it the original way anymore. No, Greg says as he shiftily side eyes his multiple copies. Yeah, I was gonna grab all of my Chrono Trigger because I have the Final Fantasy collection, which has Chrono Trigger in it. I have the Japanese PlayStation Chrono Trigger. I have the Super Nintendo Chrono Trigger, the Game Boy or the Nintendo DS Chrono Trigger. I don't have a Super Famicom copy of the game. I don't have a Japanese DS copy of the game, which would just be no point to that either. But yeah, that's a game that I have. I have a few different copies of from different regions, just because. Not to mention that games can have differences in story and models. Absolutely. Don't do what I did and spend $90 on a NES amiibo. Isolation was a first-person shooter horror game. You play as Ripley's daughter, looking for info on the Nostromo. The ship you land on has been taken over by a xenomorph, and it stalks you the whole game. It can kill you anywhere, and it does learn. While you get things to push it away, like fire, it eventually learns that the fire can't kill it, and will get less scared of. Oh wow, that's amazing AI learning. There's also no way to kill the xenomorph. Oh, that's a bit of a stretch. I would hope by the end of the game you have the ability to. The past year I've gone to Comic-Con, I've seen a guy selling Japanese games, and I buy a few because of how cool they are. Yeah, one of the games that I've always wanted Japanese is a box copy of Final Fantasy VI. But I don't want to pay like $40-$50 for it. But I've always wanted that because I love the box art. I think the box art on the copy of Final Fantasy VI Japanese is spectacular. I actually really love the Super Famicom boxes. Like just the size and shape of the boxes. I always thought they were really nice. A Japanese copy of Link's Awakening where you have to retrieve the mermaid's bra. Also, did SNES come with Classic with it pre-installed? Chrono Trigger? No. Chrono Trigger was unfortunately not on the SNES Classic. I mean, it's on mine, but if I go again, I'll see how much it is because they have that. Because I have that for Final Fantasy. I have a Japanese copy of Final Fantasy V. It's just not boxed or anything. But yeah, I've always wanted the Japanese Final Fantasy VI with the box because it's the box art that I really like. But yeah, Latimer, collect whatever you want, whatever makes you happy. You know what I mean? I'm still struggling not to buy that machine that I want. Xenoverse 2 has some female outfits exclusive to Japan. I mean, but that's DLC, so I don't even know how that would work nowadays. But turn it off. We are going to wrap it up here. Thank you, everybody, for stopping. I'm terrified of modding my SNES Classic. Honestly, if you watch a video on YouTube, you'll be fine. Just follow the video word for word. Thank you, everybody, for stopping in and for hanging out. Very much appreciate everybody spending some time today talking about Final Fantasy and just rambling, shooting the stuff, as they say. I believe they don't actually say that, but that's okay. Let me get my buttons ready. If you're watching this live right now, be sure to go ahead and click follow. And if you have a Twitch Prime sub or so inclined to, if you have $5, you can go ahead and subscribe. But don't hurt yourself doing that. Also follow us over on Twitter, which is where I post any updates about what we're going to be doing, what we're going to be streaming. I will post an update for tomorrow about what time we're going to get started. It's probably going to be somewhere between 10 and 12 in the morning. So we will get started, and we're going to be spending a long chunk of the day streaming some Castlevania. But follow us on Twitter just to make sure you see that. And we have a Discord, so jump into Discord, and you can keep the conversation going with a lot of cool peeps in Discord. So hopefully that's okay. If you are watching this on YouTube, thank you very much for watching. Go ahead and please, if you would like to do so, click subscribe. And also check the links down below to follow us over on Twitter and check out our Discord, and follow us over on Twitch, where we stream 4 days a week. 3 p.m. to 6 p.m. Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday, and Fridays 5 p.m. to 7 p.m., which is this show right here. So now we're gonna get our other buttons ready. See, I'm remembering. I just joined the Discord. But that is gonna do it. Thank you, everybody. Have an amazing, amazing weekend. Play some fun games. Be sure to stop in tomorrow if you're watching live right now. So we're going to play some Castlevania Symphony tonight. We're going to play it from start to finish. But other than that, if I don't see you, have a good one. And I will see you, getting my button ready, all next time.